Hello there, and welcome to the Generational Gamer. In this video, we are going to discuss the Retro Fighters Hunter 360. That's specifically designed with the 360 in mind. Now, I've already cut the tape because, well, I don't want to fumble with it while I'm making the video. And we're just going to pull this out, and I'll show you everything that's in here, and then I'll tell you my goals with this. So here, we've got side, and what do we have? We have a manual. That's the 2.4 gigahertz controller, and it says that it is for the 360 and the PC. I want to see if I can make it work on an original Xbox. Now, I don't expect it to work on the series, but who knows. Comes with a USB-A to C with kind of a braided wire. That's kind of nice. And then let's pull the controller out. Whoop! And I just knocked the dongle. So this is the dongle that connects to the 360. Now, interestingly enough, most of these have been interchangeable. And you can see I labeled them because I wanted to know what was what, at least in some cases. But this one is to, well, it's actually not to this one, it's to the original one, not the Pro. But these have all been interchangeable. So we're going to try and intermix some of these and see how they work. But the first priority, of course, is the system that it's designed for. So we will have to charge this and then test it out on an Xbox 360. One of the things I immediately noticed is the design of the controller. I mean, it looks very much like an Xbox 360 controller. In fact, let's compare it to an Xbox 360 controller.
So looking at the two controllers, you can immediately see the similarities. However, there are a few differences. The joysticks do appear to be a bit bigger on the original 360. The buttons also do appear to be a little bit on the larger side. Not really a huge deal for me. The D-pad is different on the 360 than on the Hunter 360, but that entirely up to you whether or not you care. The joysticks also have little nubs for up, down, left, and right on the original controller, where this one does not have it. Now, in all honesty, I never really cared too much for the 360 controller. I was more of a PlayStation user back then. So, none of those differences mean anything to me. They're just observations. The D-pad, which is normally the biggest thing that people criticize about Retro Fighters controllers, seems to be a bit more defined on this one. I haven't played any Street Fighter games on it, but it's still early.
So I did mention that I was using the existing one on my Xbox. I used this Brook adapter, and you just plug it into the back and it works fine. Now, it does look slightly different from its Xbox counterpart, as you can see right here. The button layout's almost identical, but some of the buttons here are different. It doesn't have the buttons down here. It looks like the top is nearly identical. So you can see that is the power and the mode button. Now, what does the mode button do, you might ask? Input mode swapping. So X and D input modes. X would be Windows, Steam Deck, stuff like that. So of course we have to check it with the Steam Deck, see if it works properly, right? Now, interestingly enough, rumble intensity adjustment. That was actually one of my main criticisms of the Dreamcast controller way back here. And then you can calibrate the analog stick, okay. You can adjust how you want the analog stick to be, either modern or classic. Your button mappings for X input and D input. The LED guide, and your frequently asked questions. So the non-X button right here is your home sync button. So you hold that for 5 seconds. And quite frankly, that is all I am concerned about. I've never really been one of those people who goes through and spends a great deal of time configuring a controller. It's either going to work or it's not going to work, because 90% of the people aren't using them for anything that complicated. So we are going to check this thing out. Let's see how it works. So plugging it in should consist of simply doing this. Since I find it. There we go. It's in there. You can see it's blinking. I think we're good. To pair it, all we should have to do is hold this down for 5 seconds. And it's paired. You've heard it rumble. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, so now we are on a Xbox 360. I'm using this controller. I've got my wired connection, which I don't know about you guys, but my Xbox 360 has one of the slowest internet connections I've ever seen. Whether I use Wi-Fi or hardwired, it pales in comparison to that of its PlayStation counterpart. And that is slow as can be. Alright, so the games I want to check out. One, we're going to check out Hydro Thunder, mainly because I'm familiar with the series. There it is. Hydro Thunder Hurricane. So we're going to try two different games here. Hydro Thunder Hurricane, which of course I have on the Series X as well, and the PC. I ended up buying it twice. It was dirt cheap one day and I had to do it. I love the original Hydro Thunder. Hydro Thunder Hurricane is not as good as its original, but it will synchronize my game, which is always nice. By the way, I noticed this thing will not connect unless you disable two-factor authentication. It doesn't matter how many times you change your password, you need to disable two-factor authentication in your Microsoft account. You can re-enable it afterwards, but in order to get your Xbox 360 to log you in, you need to disable it, and it's a pain in the ass. But as you can see, it's working fine now. And fortunately, it'll synchronize with my Series X because, let's be honest, I never play the game here. And we're just gonna pick, I'm just gonna pick the first one just because I know it pretty well. And we'll pick this one. I like this ship. And we're gonna check it out and see how I do. Now, I don't expect to do particularly well because, well, I don't do particularly well in any game anymore. The rumble feels good.
We're gonna have to pick up a boost power up.
It feels pretty responsive. I don't remember where every little hidden thing is in this level, but we'll do our best and see how it does. Oops, I missed the boost power up. Come in here. That. I mean, this is a decent game. It's not a great game, especially compared to the other one. And quite frankly, I never play this on the 360 because you don't need to. You play it better on the Series X or even the One. The controls are good. I mean, that's the reason I picked this game, because I love the Hydro Thunder series. Even if there are better ways to play this, hell, and the Dreamcast version. So we should be able to just come out of here. And we are pushing it. I'm going to land. Not bad. So we're going to get out of this game. And we're going to go right into Transformers. This game is awesome. And even though I have it on Steam, which is actually the HD version of it, this is still an excellent way to play the game. It's not particularly expensive, so if you can get a copy of it, by all means do so. Now, one of the key advantages of this one over the Steam game is the fact you don't need to deal with a keyboard. Everything is controller based. I do not remember the controls at all. Megatron is I'd say he was a tank because he's real strong, but he's also literally a tank. He should be a gun, let's be honest. Controller feels fine though, for all intents and purposes. Controller feels fine. Ooh, damn it, I just blew up. Perfect time to end it, because it's going to continue from my last checkpoint, and I can keep on playing this with this controller as I see fit. Or it can move on to something else. Now, I think I'm going to spread out the video into other things. Why, you might ask? Well, because my YouTube channel actually does better when I keep things small, so I'm going to do that. So, unboxing, test with an Xbox 360. Next up, test it with things it's not meant for.
So just a few thoughts to wrap this up. The controller's comfort feels pretty good. It seems durable enough. I mean, I guess time will tell. I don't mind the D button at all in this thing. I don't know why some people complain about it, except for the fact they are normally pretty flat. This one is not. It immediately paired with no problems. My only gripe with it is the light stays on even when the Xbox 360 is off. That's my only complaint with the thing. I am going to try it on other things, so check out my future videos. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and have a good one. Bye-bye.